How going gluten-free relieved my arthritis pain, my personal journey results. Have you ever woken up with stiff, achy joints that make even the simplest movements feel like a struggle? If you've been living with arthritis, you know just how overwhelming the constant pain and fatigue can be. And for years, I found myself stuck in a cycle of trying new treatments, medications, and therapies, but nothing really seemed to help long term. Then I heard about something I never thought would have an impact on arthritis going gluten-free. At first, I was skeptical. After all, gluten-free diets were mostly associated with celiac disease, right? But after hearing so many success stories from people dealing with arthritis, I decided to give it a shot. What happened next completely surprised me. In this video, I'm going to share my personal journey of trying a gluten-free diet to manage my arthritis symptoms. I'll talk about how it affected my pain, my energy levels, and even my digestion. The changes I experienced might just make you reconsider what's on your plate. If you've ever wondered whether a gluten-free diet could help with arthritis, or if you're just looking for natural ways to feel better, stick around. I'll break down everything I've learned from the challenges of giving up gluten to the real, tangible benefits I experienced. So grab a cup of tea, relax, and let's dive into how going gluten-free changed my life. 1. Why consider a gluten-free diet for arthritis? Arthritis is a chronic condition that affects millions of people worldwide, causing pain, stiffness, and inflammation in the joints. Many individuals seek alternative solutions to complement traditional treatments, and dietary changes have gained considerable attention. One approach that has sparked interest is eliminating gluten from the diet. But why should someone with arthritis consider going gluten-free? The answer lies in the potential connection between gluten and inflammation. Gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye, and for some individuals, it can trigger an inflammatory response. In conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis (RA), the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues, leading to persistent inflammation. Research has suggested that gluten may exacerbate this process in those who are sensitive to it. Some studies indicate that people with autoimmune disorders, including RA, are more likely to have gluten intolerance or celiac disease. By cutting out gluten, some individuals have reported a decrease in joint pain, swelling, and overall discomfort. Another reason to consider a gluten-free diet is its impact on gut health. The digestive system plays a crucial role in immune function, and recent studies have linked gut imbalances to increased inflammation in the body. Gluten has been shown to affect the intestinal lining, potentially leading to a condition known as leaky gut syndrome. This condition allows toxins and undigested food particles to enter the bloodstream, triggering an immune response that can worsen arthritis symptoms. Many people who eliminate gluten experience improved digestion, which may contribute to reduced inflammation and better overall health. Beyond the science, personal experiences highlight the potential benefits of a gluten-free diet for arthritis sufferers. Many individuals have shared their success stories, claiming reduced stiffness, improved mobility, and even higher energy levels after removing gluten from their diets. While this approach may not work for everyone, it presents a natural and non-invasive option to explore. If you suffer from arthritis and are looking for new ways to manage symptoms, experimenting with a gluten-free diet under the guidance of a healthcare professional could be a worthwhile step. 2. My personal journey. My journey with arthritis has been full of ups and downs, trying different treatments, medications, and lifestyle changes in an attempt to manage my symptoms. When I first heard about the potential benefits of a gluten-free diet, I was skeptical. After all, I had no diagnosed gluten intolerance or celiac disease. But after reading numerous personal stories and some scientific studies, I decided to give it a try. At first, the transition was challenging. Gluten is present in many staple foods like bread, pasta, and even hidden in processed foods. I had to rethink my meals and read labels carefully. The first few weeks were tough. I craved my usual foods and had to resist temptations at social gatherings. But I was determined to see if this change could make a difference. Within a few weeks, I started to notice some changes. The most significant improvement was in my joint pain. Mornings used to be the hardest part of my day. Waking up with stiff, aching joints made it difficult to get moving. However, after a few weeks without gluten, my morning stiffness seemed to lessen. My joints still had some discomfort, but I noticed that I was able to move more freely and start my day with less pain. Another unexpected change was an increase in my energy levels. Before going gluten-free, I often felt fatigued, even after a full night's sleep. It wasn't the kind of tiredness that a cup of coffee could fix. It was a deep, sluggish feeling that made it difficult to focus and get through the day. After eliminating gluten, I felt more alert and found that I didn't experience the usual mid-afternoon energy crash. Additionally, I noticed improvements in my digestion. I had occasional bloating and stomach discomfort before, which I never associated with gluten. However, after cutting it out, my digestive issues significantly improved. I felt lighter, and the uncomfortable bloating I sometimes experienced after meals was gone. Of course, my experience wasn't all positive. Avoiding gluten required a lot of planning, especially when eating out or traveling. I had to ask questions about ingredients, find alternatives for my favorite foods, and prepare more meals at home. There were moments of frustration, but the benefits I experienced made it worthwhile. This journey taught me that food plays a powerful role in how we feel. While I didn't find a complete cure for my arthritis, I did find a way to make my symptoms more manageable. The improvement in joint pain, energy, and digestion made me feel like I had more control over my health. I realized that making dietary changes, even when difficult, could have a real impact on my well-being. 3. Reduce joint pain. One of the biggest reasons people with arthritis consider going gluten-free is the potential for reduced joint pain. For me, this was the primary motivation to try it, and I was pleasantly surprised by the results. While I was not expecting a miracle cure, I was hopeful that reducing inflammation through diet might make a difference in my daily pain levels. Inflammation is at the root of arthritis symptoms, and gluten has been suspected of triggering inflammatory responses in certain individuals. In people with celiac disease, consuming gluten causes an immune reaction that damages the small intestine. Even those without celiac disease, but with non-celiac gluten sensitivity (NCGS) can experience inflammation-related symptoms, including joint pain, fatigue, and digestive issues. Some studies suggest that gluten may contribute to overall inflammation in the body, particularly in those predisposed to autoimmune diseases. After removing gluten from my diet, I noticed that my joint pain became more manageable. Mornings, which were usually the worst time for me, improved significantly. Before, I would wake up with stiffness and a dull, persistent ache in my fingers, knees, and wrists. However, after several weeks without gluten, I found that the stiffness eased faster and the pain was less intense. The change wasn't immediate, but it was noticeable enough that I felt encouraged to continue. I also experienced fewer flare-ups. Before changing my diet, I would have periods where my joint pain suddenly worsened, making it difficult to go about my normal activities. These flare-ups seemed to become less frequent once I eliminated gluten. While my arthritis was still present, I felt like my body was responding better, and my symptoms weren't as unpredictable as they had been before. While not everyone with arthritis will experience the same results, the potential for reduced joint pain is a compelling reason to consider going gluten-free. It is important to remember that every person's body is different, and what works for one individual may not work for another. However, for those looking for natural ways to manage arthritis pain, reducing or eliminating gluten could be an option worth exploring. 4. More energy. Fatigue is one of the most frustrating symptoms that often accompanies arthritis. Many people with arthritis, including myself, experience periods of exhaustion that don't seem to improve with rest. Before going gluten-free, I often felt drained, as if I were carrying around an extra weight of tiredness that slowed me down. I assumed this was just part of having arthritis until I noticed a difference after changing my diet. One of the first things I observed after eliminating gluten was an increase in my overall energy levels. I used to struggle with midday crashes, where I felt like I could barely keep my eyes open. Even simple tasks felt exhausting and my productivity suffered. But after a few weeks without gluten, I felt more alert and capable of handling my daily activities. There are a few possible reasons for this improvement. First, if gluten was causing any level of inflammation in my body, reducing it could have allowed my system to function more efficiently. Inflammation takes a lot of energy for the body to manage, and reducing inflammatory triggers might have helped free up some of that energy. Second, improved digestion likely played a role. If my body was previously struggling to process gluten, eliminating it may have allowed for better nutrient absorption, leading to more sustained energy levels. Whatever the reason, the improvement in my energy was noticeable and consistent. I no longer felt like I needed an afternoon nap or multiple cups of coffee just to make it through the day. While arthritis still caused some fatigue, the difference was significant enough that I felt more in control of my daily life. 5. Better digestion. Although I originally decided to try a gluten-free diet for arthritis, I quickly realized that my digestive system benefited as well. Before making the change, I experienced occasional bloating, discomfort, and irregular digestion. I never thought much of it because I assumed it was just a normal part of life. However, after eliminating gluten, I noticed significant improvements in my digestion. Bloating was one of the first things to improve. I used to feel uncomfortably full after meals, even when I didn't eat large portions. That heavy, sluggish feeling gradually disappeared, and I started feeling lighter and more comfortable after eating. My digestion also became more regular, which was another unexpected but welcome change. Many people don't realize the connection between gut health and inflammation. Research suggests that an unhealthy gut can contribute to systemic inflammation, which may worsen arthritis symptoms. Since gluten can be difficult for some people to digest, removing it from the diet may help improve gut function and reduce inflammation in the body. Going gluten-free also encouraged me to eat more whole, unprocessed foods. Instead of relying on packaged foods that often contain hidden sources of gluten, I focused on fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and gluten-free grains like quinoa and rice. This shift in diet likely contributed to better digestion and an overall improvement in how I felt. Final thoughts. My experience with a gluten-free diet and arthritis has been a journey of discovery. While it wasn't a cure, it helped reduce my joint pain, increase my energy, and improve my digestion. Making this change requires effort and commitment, but the benefits I experienced made it worth it. If you have arthritis and are struggling with symptoms, trying a gluten-free diet could be an option to explore. However, it's important to consult with a healthcare professional before making significant dietary changes. Every person's body responds differently, and what works for one may not work for another. Ultimately, food has a powerful impact on health, and making mindful dietary choices can be an effective way to manage symptoms and improve overall well-being. Whether or not you decide to go gluten-free, paying attention to how food affects your body can be an important step toward feeling better and taking control of your health. Summary. In this video, I share my personal experience with switching to a gluten-free diet to help manage my arthritis symptoms. I dive into how gluten might contribute to inflammation in the body, particularly for those with autoimmune conditions like arthritis. You'll hear about the changes I noticed in my joint pain, energy levels, and digestion after eliminating gluten from my diet. While it wasn't a magical cure, the improvements I experienced were significant enough to make me reconsider my approach to managing arthritis. If you've been wondering whether going gluten-free could help with your arthritis, or if you're just looking for ways to improve your overall health naturally, this video might provide the insights you need. I'll also be sharing practical tips for getting started with a gluten-free diet and navigating the challenges along the way. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more health tips and personal experiences. If you've tried a gluten-free diet or have your own tips for managing arthritis, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Wishing you all the best on your journey to better health. And remember, sometimes the smallest changes can make the biggest difference. See you in the next video.